another tough loss for the Seahawks. They fought to the end, of course, almost made a comeback, but went down to the Titans 33-27. Here to analyze the game and provide us with therapy and comfort, please welcome former Husky running back Terry Hollimon from the barbershop. How you doing?
We had better Mondays. Honestly, we've had better Mondays, but I'm working on it.
You're working on it. You know, it's weird. We love our Seahawks so much that you actually have to kind of go through the grieving process when there's a game that's as rough as that.
My goodness. I don't know if you remember this, but I talked about this years ago. I invented this thing. I espoused upon a scourge that has taken over Seattle when they lose. It's called SLD. Seahawks lost disorder.
Yes.
And everybody in the city has it. Yes. Every Monday after the Seahawks lose, everybody's a little bit mopey.
Yep.
Everybody's sad. Your coffee's kind of a little bitter. People aren't as friendly as they normally are in Seattle, so we're getting over it.
Well, we should all then be reminded we need to be really nice to each other today because everybody's having a tough time.
Right.
So talking about something very important, pregame.
Yes.
The Seahawks did not come out on the field for the national anthem. Neither did the Titans.
Right.
What do we know about how the decisions were made?
So my understanding is that both teams spoke to each other at length before the game to determine what they wanted to do. And the Seahawks reached out and said, hey, we're planning on staying in the locker room during the national anthem to show some unity. And the Titans said, yeah, we're going to do the same thing. And it was a long discussion with the Seahawks. They went back and forth, and they decided to stay in for the national anthem and walk out together, linked arms, to show a sign of solidarity and unity.
After the game, I noticed a number of players addressed this, others put out statements, and I just thought they were extremely thoughtful and interesting, and I would encourage everybody to, you know, listen, take a look at those tapes. So now let's talk about the game.
Yes.
Once we unlocked arms, things, things
Maybe
got
they should have
tougher.
kept their arms locked, so, you know, it would have worked out better.
Be. So let's talk about Russell Wilson. What would
Right.
you say about his performance?
I would say Russell Wilson had a very spectacular performance. You know, the first half was very slow. Neither offense had any productivity. It was just a struggle back and forth. We saw more of John Ryan punting the ball than we did of Russell
I thought
Wilson.
his leg was going to fall off.
Yeah,
he was
no
out
kidding.
there over and over.
Yeah, he thought he was going to fall down from heat exhaustion, which is another thing we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But Russell Wilson in the second half, he was able to gain some composure, pull it together, and had his most prolific day as a passer. He had 373 yards passing, which was his record.
Right.
He had 49 attempts, which was his record. It was just an amazing day for him. Unfortunately, they ended up short of the stick.
He made at least 2 or 3 like magic plays.
Oh my
where there was
goodness.
just the throw to Baldwin.
The throw to Baldwin
touchdown.
for the touchdown was just amazing.
Crazy.
It was like a window of like 6 inches that you could throw the ball into. He made it in. And then the fourth down conversion of Tyler Lockett to continue the game, to give them an opportunity to win at the end when he was being dragged to the ground.
Right.
Just an amazing play.
It was amazing. Okay, the not so good. We won't call it the bad, just it's not so good. The defense was gassed. I mean, it was, you know, what, 100 degrees out there and humid, and they were on the field forever.
It was 197 degrees in Tennessee yesterday. You don't believe, look it up. You never see. Yeah, and it's tough to play, you know, a defense the way that they play defense that long in that type of temperature. The only way to get ready for that is to be in it. And, you know, they say they want you to hydrate, and you think, okay, just go to the sideline and drink water, but it doesn't work like that. You have to spend like a week in advance getting your body prepared for that. And sometimes it's tough. Not everybody can do that. And so you saw a couple of these guys getting gassed, winded, cramps, and it actually, you could see it in the fourth quarter.
And you make a really good point. It was the same temperature for everybody, but the defense plays so hard and they were out there for so long that that's kind of a special thing. And even Marcus Mariota, I think, went into the tent and got some IV fluids at one point.
So another thing you have to think about is the way that the style of these teams play. The Titans were a very powerful, strong running team. You saw some of their running backs gash our defense for some incredible yards because they were running straight at the Seahawks. Now, when you have an offense that's running at you as opposed to dropping back and being finesse and dunking the ball around, it wears on you because there's a big, giant body pushing on you forward. And so that added to the fatigue that the Seahawks defense faced.
Were there some missed assignments in the defense on those gash runs, or what was happening?
There was
some confusion?
missed assignments and missed tackles, and I think that, again, that's what happens when when you get fatigued physically. Not only does it take away from what you're able to do physically, like my body doesn't move as well as it used to, but you also become mentally fatigued. So, you know, I see that my assignment becomes, you know, I can't complete my assignment anymore because my brain is not functioning.
Not functioning the way it should be. Okay, so injuries, what happened yesterday? When I saw Doug Baldwin on the sideline, just yelling, no!
Yes, yes.
No,
Doug
no.
Baldwin came down with a
Doug.
groin injury, and at this point, we don't know how severe it is. You know, there's certain different degrees of groin injury. You know, there's a point where you can go in and get some treatment on it throughout the week, and you're able to function by next Sunday and be perfectly well. Then there's another degree that says, listen, this is going to be a couple of weeks where we're not going to see you active at all. We don't know right now. Of course, Pete is keeping it pretty close to the chest. I'm sure we'll probably hear some more later on today just how severe his injury is.
He didn't have a good look on his face about it as he was on the sidelines. No. Doug didn't. And Dewey McDonald?
Dewey McDonald, he's been a star. He's a backup linebacker on the team, and he's been a star on the special teams. And he was injured right out the gate. And what they say is he has a ACL injury, and it's going to be a long-term thing. So unfortunately for him and unfortunately for the Seahawks, they're probably going to be missing him for the remainder of the season.
Bless him. We certainly hope for the best. Okay, so what do we think will happen next week?
Well, you know, hopefully, this is my opinion, they're going to get back in CenturyLink Field where we're always pretty good. We have the support of the 12th man, right?
Woo!
Which is
there.
always, yeah.
They need a little home cooking.
They need a little home cooking, and, you know, they're going against an Indianapolis team that is not super good. So we just need to put together two full halves of football and put together two sides of the ball that are working together. We had an offense that worked very well in the second half and a defense that worked very well in the first half. If we can put those two things together, I think this team
That'll
can be
help.
pretty good. Yeah.
A personality question. So Cam Chancellor mentioned it. I think some others did too, that there was some bickering. Richard Sherman had an amazing play in which he was flagged 3 times for one play.
That's miraculous. I've never seen that in all my years of football.
That was really quite something.
It was so bad that the ref didn't have any flags anymore. He had to take his hat off. I thought if anything else happened, it was going to be a shoe, pants.
So it was pass interference. What else?
Holding.
And
a personal foul.
And then personal
foul. Yeah, because he took his helmet off
which
to
you
yell
can't
at the referee. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that takes a lot of energy out of Richard and a lot of focus off of what he does. Unfortunately for him, he's a professional. He's very good at what he does. He's able to bounce back, but it distracts the team a little bit. You can see some of the other players like, Rich, you got to stop.
People ran over Sheldon Richardson, some of the veterans, and you know, there's a disturbance in the force field when this goes on.
Did you just go all Star Wars?
I did. I'm a Star Wars nerd. You like Star Wars, don't you?
I love Star Wars.
Excellent,
yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, we're going to hope for better next week, and then
we're going to use the Force.
If we don't win next week, we're having a cocktail while we do this on Monday.
No, we're having shots.
We're having
shots next week. Shots on Margaret next week if the Seahawks.
I'm not sure who I'm going to root for now. The Seahawks return to CenturyLink Field and take on the Colts next Sunday at 5:30 right here on King 5. We posted that info on our website along with how to keep up with Terry and his barbershop co-host, former Seahawk Marcus Trufant. You two are such fun and you're all over town.
Well, thank you.
All over the place. Lots of fun. A luxurious show coming up next that turns wedding planning into a big party. A preview after this break.